So part of being consistent is, I guess, this shift, the mental shift from being, I guess, outcome focused to process focused, because, you know, consistency is essentially about the process. It's about the everyday life, right? Leading up to your big ideal. And I think whenever you reach that level, you've spoken about this where whenever you reach that level, then you set a new one, right? So once you attain something, you move that further down. And so essentially, consistency is really about thriving in the process. And what are your thoughts on this?
So it's a very, very fundamental thing to remember, I think, in the journey of life, that ultimate outcomes, comparatively speaking, last for a very short period of time. And sometimes, even when you achieve those goals, they may not give you the kind of satisfaction you hoped they would. If you think about anything we do in life, really, you go to school for 4 years and graduate, and your graduation lasts 2 hours. If you're in Tanzania, you're preparing for a wedding. You spend a year preparing for a wedding, and the ceremony itself is a couple of hours. The
ceremony, in fact, is like 30 minutes to an hour.
The marriage happens in church or mosque for 30 minutes. So you need to appreciate, and this is where consistency comes in. You need to appreciate that who you are becoming and the person you are forging along the way is perhaps more important than the things you're achieving in the end. In fact, let me just do this. You wrote a book.
Yes, I did.
In the process, the audience, this is not a plug. It's a book that is actually in the library. But the point is this. When I read this book, it just resonated with me so much in terms of the fact that there are many aspects to the process. So sometimes you might think that's what you want to achieve. But in the process, as you get consistent, you realize actually maybe the better ambitions are to do with character and development and the person you are and the kind of fortitude you create as a person as opposed to what you achieve. And maybe your goals may even change because you're being more and more consistent. So I guess the point I'm trying to make, in addition to the point that I'm making that everybody should buy this book, it's available
it's
on
available
Amazon.
Everywhere online.
Amazon, Barnes & Noble, everywhere online. Utapata, in the process, Ben Owden. It's a brilliant book. And I could feel that it was written at a stage where you understood the process.
Yes, I did.
You got, it's not theoretical. It was a process for you. Yeah. So
and in fact, just to say something.
Yeah.
There are times after the book was out where I reject the ideas. Not because they are not true, but because I know that they are true. But I know how painful it is. So there are times where I'm like, oh God. And speaking of the ideal, the book has become an ideal for me as well. Yeah. Because now I know that this is how I'm supposed to walk through this stage of my life. I know this is how I'm supposed to build consistency. When I am not doing that, when I am complaining, I'm like, that it was going to be painful. Why are you complaining about this, right? So the book has become some sort of a judge for me as well, where am I living up to this standard?
That's actually really interesting, because we were talking about judges and mentors and your panel of judges, and a book especially a book that you have written, this is also a value of actually, which is something that I know Princely
does a lot, you know, with the Andika challenge, to challenge people to really put their ideas out there. Because when you do that, your ideas do become the judge. You've mentioned it, you know, social media. Sometimes it can be a judge where, you know, are you what you publish? And so this is also another way, another practice that people have. And so for me, that's why with the book, I reached a point where I say, even if I don't sell as many copies, I have received tremendous value from the content. And that's good enough. Not to say you shouldn't go and buy it, by the way. You should definitely go and check it out. You should. But you know, that's another way to actually